Good afternoon, everybody. Let's start this two now. Let's start our forum. Miss Karen here, she will be the co-host of this presentation. She will be helping with reading questions, and she also will be presenting the speakers. My name is Eleazar Gonzalez, and I work for Lincoln University Cooperative Extension. And I wonder if Babu is already here. Babu, are you around?
He's not here yet.
Hey, Ms. Karen.
Yes.
You want to go ahead and present the program for today?
I certainly will. We'll start out with a welcome to the Lincoln University Hemp Institute. And we're going to discuss Missouri hemp producers' challenges and perspectives in 2022. And I cannot move your slides.
Very good. I guess you start with my presentation. I will be the first presenter. Then Alan will come to show you about what is new in the state regulations to grow hemp in Missouri. Then Heather DeRose is going to present her experience in growing hemp as a medical support. Also, Jeff, or either on hemp fiber, is going to present about his perspective on growing industrial hemp in Missouri. Then we will have an intermission. Well, we have another one, but we will present the Lincoln University Hemp Institute faculty, and we are going to know about what they have to update us regarding everybody's expertise. And then at the end, we will have our panel with farmers. There are very interesting points of view from different farmers who I really know they are going to share here. I guess I'm going to start with my presentation of today. As I mentioned, my name is Eleazar Gonzalez, and I work here at Lincoln University. I'm going to talk with you today about the Missouri hemp producers' challenges and perspectives for next year. Based on what we collect from a survey, we were collecting information from farmers who grow hemp in Missouri. We sent this survey to 150 hemp producers of email accounts, and we get like maybe 10 were not accepted. We received back the survey. So this data you are going to see correspond to around 140 total population of farmers. Alan will give you more information about how many farmers complain and how many farmers were in Missouri in 2021 after my presentation. But from this population, we collect 27 surveys, and we eliminate 2 surveys, and we keep 25 because they were more complete and they had the information we feel like they were helpful to. Well, the presentation for what I'm going to show you today, first we are going to start talking about the history of producing hemp in the USA by main state producers. And then, well, we are going to compare how Missouri looked like across these states. Remember, here in Missouri, we started growing hemp last year, was our first season. Well, 2020, we had 2 years now of hemp production records. Most of this data, specifically for these first 2 figures, were data collected from Farm Service Agency from the report they provide about acres planted on the state and also in the country. Then use this last month, February 17, the USDA, through the National Agricultural Statistics Service, offered the first results for hemp production in the country. So we are going to, we add those data, those numbers to the graph. So we are going to start with official data, I guess, starting this year. But the other data also is official because come from Farm Service Agency that is part of the USDA. Also, Alan will provide local data about how Missouri hemp producers respond here in Missouri. And then I'm going to discuss a little bit about the demographic profile of the people who respond to the survey, and then explain what kind of production system they use to grow hemp. We will tell about some economics and business indicators to understand why they do or not do profitable activities. And also, we are going to tell a little bit the level of understanding they had regarding hemp production. Also, what challenges they face for this coming season. From that survey, these indicators were selected. Like we collect many indicators. I guess that's one of the reasons maybe we didn't get a response rate that very high, but still is acceptable because the population we target was low, and the margin error for the sample was 16.66%. We are talking about 25%, 25 surveys here. So let's start with this first graph or figure. You can see in this graph, the hemp production in the USA started in 2015 and start growing, farmers start getting excited about growing hemp because hemp is a very, it's not a commodity, it's a crop that is very generous because you can transform the plant in many products. So it is a very high expectation about this crop to involve and to sustain a lot of industries that not only cause more money to sustain, but also ecologically, this crop promise to provide sustainability to a lot of resources. So 2015 started the production here in the USA and then goes up to 2019 when we observed 147,597 acres planted in the country. But this number, after farmers and the government and organizations start figuring out that we were not ready to meet the expectation of this crop to transform into a product or product we are looking to use, the farmer figured out that there was no market for selling the product. So as you can see in 2020, the acres planted fall significantly. You can see that number is the last number we got regarding acres planted from Farm Service Agency based on the acres planted recorded from reports from farmers. And then the USDA start working on designing a survey, so they start getting more accurate data. At this point, we don't know what accurate the data is because we still are working on developing the right numbers. Data is always a number and always has different factors that influence the outcome. Well, in the last survey, the recent surveys sent by the USDA, they say in the USA, they were 54,152 acres planted in 2021. So Alan, I'm going to now to show you different graphs based on the state, so Alan may help later on with the numbers. These figures show you how Missouri look like in the national context of hemp planted. As you can see here in the middle, Missouri started planting hemp in 2020, but while Missouri get excited and start increasing the acres planted right here in the green one in 2021 based on USDA data, other states who start planting, growing hemp previously to 2020, they start reducing their number of acres planted. So as you can see, like states like Colorado, who are leading the acres planted in the country, Montana, who are also a very large producer of acres of hemp, they drop drastically their acres planted. So here in Missouri, according to the USDA data, we planted 1,400 acres in 2021. That was an increase from 770 acres from that previous year. That was a very significant increase, but as far as I know, there are a couple of farmers who may planted half of that amount. So that's why we have some participants here who will be on that part. Okay, let's go to analyze the survey, analyze the demographic profile we received from respondents. As you can see here, the level of education of more responders is high. Most of them have a graduate degree. I'm going to get the color here so I can highlight things here. Talking about right there. Then the age is another factor. Like in agriculture, everybody's complaining about farmers getting a little bit old, but you know, there are still a lot of people who are getting involved and who are maybe less than 40 years old. But I think everybody here is in very good timing to grow hemp and engage with large contracts and get better. Regarding gender, we see more participation of women, relatively talking regarding comparing with men, because last year we had a lot of men responding to the survey, and also we had 6 female, the same like last year, this time. It seems like everybody, I will show you another chart here. In this one, you can see how they respond regarding how many years they have been in the farming industry. As you can see, most of them has been farming for 2 years or less. So that can tell you a lot of stuff too. Regarding acres planted in 2021, based on this survey, most of them planted less than 1 acre or 1 acre. So it seems like there is not a lot of risky farmers, so they don't want to take too much risk, but there are some farmers who they planted more than 16 acres. So that means, like, as you can see here, most of these people, what we will tell in the next characteristic is about what is the purpose of this, what farmers like to grow. And you can see most of them are in this category, CBD, and also CBG, but hemp fiber is also a little bit representative. Then we are going to jump to tell a little bit about how they grow this crop. Most farmers 72% of them responded they grow it outside in the open field. 12% they use any kind of greenhouse or house. As you can see, we had a lot of farmers who grow hemp in very small areas. Then we are going to see what the production system they prefer to use. And sustainable farming is the more used. Like, well, it is known that hemp doesn't need a lot of inputs to grow. So it makes sense to grow hemp in a sustainable way. And since hemp is going to provide sustainability, let's start in the right way, right? Okay, then we had more farmers, 40%, doing that system. We can mix conventional mixed methods and conventional as one, so we can maybe consider that is 50-50, the choice of farmers. Conventional methods is using any kind of input to improve harvesting, to improve yields, pesticides, fertilizing, and other inputs. What happened regarding the economic of the farm? Why they are are they making business doing this at this time? That's one of the questions, right? Like everybody wants to know to what extent it is a business. Obviously, at the level of production we are talking, and also to the level of market development. At this point, there are some factors that may influence you to not be profitable. In this case, the fact that most farmers don't have a business plan to operate, like here, 80% of them respond not to have anything. Like, and also, not having a contract to sell the product is another factor. So what we expect, and was this data aligned with the response of the farmers? Because as you can see in the blue area here, they are going to break even, or they are going to lose money. Most people think they are going to lose money, or to having a negative rate of return on the investment they have. So that with those numbers, you are building your idea about the industry and the perspectives and challenges for this coming year. So next, let's talk a little bit about how they select their outlet, or the marketing, or the selling of the hemp products. And as you can see, these two right here, most of them, they decide to process their own product. And also, if there is a chance they cannot sell it, they want to keep it when in storage, or when something happens in the market. That is kind of the more frequent response we got regarding this. Regarding the marketing strategy to sell the product, online marketing is one of the options. Social media use through Facebook, Instagram, the farmers' own website are significant here. Online marketing websites was the more preferred, or the more frequently responded as an option to sell hemp products. We are going to jump a little bit about how they responded regarding production, very much related to pests and diseases on hemp. In this case, we can see in this chart what the more frequent pests they found on their hemp operations. And we see like corn, airborne is one of the most popular. Then we had the cannabis aphids, and the thing here, right here, is the more important thing for us as educators, as researchers. We need to find ways to help farmers to understand these pests. Like most of them, well, not most of them, but a large proportion of these farmers, they respond, they don't know names of pests. So that is something we need to address here. And that is why in this forum, we have the specialist people here at the Lincoln University Health Institute who are going to tell a little bit about what they are going to do the coming year, or this year. We are going to go to the next slide, and this slide is about the hemp diseases. That is what we found. We found the same issue here. Most of the respondents, they don't know the name of diseases, right here. Some of them, they share similar responses, like most of them saw the pigeon root wilt, and also the botrytis and powdery mildew. So Dr. Patel is here, and he is going to tell to you more about this graph. Let's jump a little bit to the analysis of the perspectives and understanding for this coming season. Ms. Karen, are you tracking my time? I kind of get excited. Thank you. We want to know, we try to understand to what extent we are going to be able to connect or to know the level of understanding they have regarding multiple indicators. So we ask about the acknowledge and understanding of hemp compliant sampling. It seems like those factors are very important for growers of hemp because they have to comply with state regulation. So to what extent these farmers understand that, and based on the response, and this is the second year, so it looks like most farmers are confident on that. Right? They feel confident on understanding this part. So I guess Alan is doing a very good job. What about regarding understanding and knowledge about how to choose your right hemp seed genetics? And that is an issue right now because it looks like there are displayed response between confident, neutral, and poorly confident. But you can see right here, 28% of them for this category. So I guess we are going to work in this part too. Dr. Babu is going to tell a little bit later about the genetics we are doing here at Lincoln University for hemp. This other factor we evaluate was the ability of farmers to germinate seeds, to what extent they know how to do it. That is the response. Like there is a consensus. Well, I guess most farmers feel confident about the ability to germinate seeds, represent 60%. But there are issues going on because some farmers are growing, but they don't have the certainty. So this factor has to correlate with other factors, and we are going to do more deep analysis on this to see how they connect in the future. Okay, let's jump now to those factors challenging hemp producers in Missouri. We collect a lot of factors, but we select only 3 at this time, just for the situation, for the forum. ability to access to reliable and stable hemp genetics. That is an issue we have here based on this sample size. Most farmers, they respond to be neutral, but there is a tendency to agree. However, there also a tendency to disagree that it was not a challenge, but most, you can see, agree, neutral. That means like the tendency is to understand better this area. So that was a challenge for them. Another one we analyzed was their ability to have a contract with hemp buyers or to understand the process. Because as you know, to market hemp, contracts are very important tool. And otherwise you will keep your crops, most of you know. But what we can see here, everybody, most of them agree with that is a challenge. We need to develop that capacity right here in this graph. Some of them, maybe those farmers who process their own crops or who grow crops in a very small area, they don't have that issue. But most of them respond, this is a challenge for them. Another challenge we analyzed was being able to comply with no more than 0.3% of the THC level. And it's a little bit divided. Like let's say, most of them, or a high proportion, 32% of them, there is no, is represent a challenge, but also for another 32%, it doesn't represent a challenge. So this is very well divided. So it's something like we need to work more on this part too, because being able to complain with more than 0.3% of THC, no more than that, is a genetic factor that we need to correlate with the creation of the good seeds. Finally, we have level of satisfaction. How satisfied were farmers in the last production season? We analyzed production yield, and you can see here they are quite satisfied with what they got from the crops. There are some level of insatisfaction here. And then we analyze satisfaction with selling or pricing or accessing the market. And level of satisfaction are high. The neutral, people who respond to be neutral in that response, the tendency pull down here. So there is level of insatisfaction right now in the market. And the last one, level of satisfaction, we evaluate what regulation to grow hemp in Missouri. How satisfied are farmers who are currently growing hemp with the level of regulation we have? And you can see here, neutral and 6 are unsatisfied. So it is like a little bit tendency is to be unsatisfied. So I think it's part of working with or legislators or people who decide the policy for growing hemp in Missouri, and then bring this data to them. Well, that is my presentation now. Thank you.